Uncle Grandpa is one of the most random and senseless shows that has ever aired on Cartoon Network. To begin with, he's the Uncle Grandpa of all the people in the world. The anatomy of this guy makes no sense. He's with a green dinosaur, a pepperoni pizza with sunglasses, a talking belly bag that can store infinite amounts of stuff, and giant realistic flying tiger, who's a cutout of a normal tiger that farts rainbows. So, with this crazy context, what is the most normal episode of Uncle Grandpa? And trust me, with an intro that could give you diabetes type 3, this was not easy. So we start off with the first season, and I feel like I have to clarify that due to the insanity of this show, I won't be too picky, too meticulous. So out of the 52 episodes that the first season has, I have 3 possible candidates. The first one being the mystery noise, where the guys at the RP are having a sleepover. They're sleeping in the same bed, which is a bit weird, since me and my homies usually do this with less clothes. Suddenly, when they're falling asleep, a very mysterious noise can be heard. They try to ignore it, but as you might guess, they are not able to rest.
That noise is putting Pizza Steve on edge!
So they try to find the noise by doing the smartest thing possible, and that's destroying the entire house, which surprisingly didn't work. So they start beating each other's meat. Just beating each other, just that. As it's common knowledge for everyone, if you sleep in the same bed, you will have the same dream. And the noise was just this weird chicken telling them that breakfast is ready. I guess we can't count this one, because it was all a dream. By the way, I also forgot to say that we don't take into account those little shorts after the episodes. Those are really crazy.
That was pretty crazy.
The next episode is titled Escalator, and Mr. Gus wants to go to his favorite shop to get a different wife beater and switch things up a little. This dinosaur still lives in the Mesozoic age, because he uses normal stairs. It's all fun and games until Uncle Grandpa and Pizza Steve are trapped in the broken escalator. How are they ever gonna get down? That's what everyone is asking right now. And as the seconds pass, this tragic event becomes a global catastrophe. When all hopes are lost and everything seems to be the end, Gus shows up to save Uncle Grandpa and Pizza Steve as he suggests the idea for them to walk down the escalator.
Jeez Louise, let's get a blanket on you, Uncle Grandpa!
This episode, apart from being really funny, there is no strange magic or bizarre situations, except when a helicopter crashes in the shopping center, as well as a plane dropping them food. But other than that, it's no so bad. Another really good option would be the episode Prank Wars, where Pizza Steve is rolling and smoking Mr. Gus with his silly little pranks. They enter in a prank war to decide who's the master prankster, so Mr. Gus applies the tasty Christian prank of inviting him to a pizza eating contest, where he thinks he's gonna get an award for being a master prankster. That silly prank would probably kill him, but at least we all can share a sheep laugh.
I pranked him all right.
They come to their senses and rescue him before he's brutally killed on live television. The fight is quite weird, but it's okay compared with the craziness of this show. We move on to season 2, the first one being $100 Gus, and starts with Pizza Steve knocking the bathroom door since Uncle Grandpa has been there for a while.
All done.
From all the garbage that came out of the middle of Uncle G's cheeks, and by that I mean his mustache, Pizza Steve finds a $100 bill and he lies to Uncle Grandpa, saying that it is actually Mr. Gus and that dude is just some weird stranger.
I blame you completely for whatever is about to happen.
The episode is about Pizza Steve trying to spend the bill without Uncle Grandpa finding out. Pizza Steve keeps lying, and that leads them to a car chase inside the mall, and then getting locked in jail. Yeah, there are a good amount of strange scenes, but I guess it's fine. On the other hand, the episode Numbskull is more normal. The episode starts with Uncle Grandpa enjoying the absolute comedy genius of Pizza Steve.
What's the deal with this couch? I mean, I need a ladder every time I want to watch TV.
In one of those terrible jokes, Pizza Steve hits Mr. Gus in the head with a catapult, and he comes back a lot more sillier, which makes Uncle G laugh even more, since now he's pulling the silliest and goofiest jokes possible. At the fair, Pizza Steve tries to hit Mr. Gus again in the head, so he becomes smart again, raising the tomfoolery to cartoonishly levels. They discovered that the Mr. Gus who was within was actually Nathan from Florida, and the real Mr. Gus was in a coma after the hit. Pretty normal episode, since this is just an average day for the Florida man. For the third season, at the beginning, I was considering the Little Mermaid Tiger episode, which is basically the origin story of giant realistic flying tiger and how she actually used to be a mermaid and how Uncle Grandpa was transformed into a mermaid too. Hey Disney, that's actually a better adaptation, eh? Alright, this one was so random.
What the? How does that even make sense?
No, but for real, we got two options here. The return of Aunt Grandma is one of those. After Uncle G has finished his hard work day, he decides to go to sleep earlier, since nothing's better than some solid and rejuvenated 8 hours. Suddenly Aunt Grandma shows up to convince the others to work with her by showing them a video of Uncle Grandpa trash talking about everyone. Then they start helping children under the Aunt Grandma label, which honestly it's okay, since they help them in conventional ways, unlike what usually does Uncle Grandpa in other episodes.
It's back in Nightwolf.
With Uncle G out of the business, he's forced to do this entry-level job. Sandwiches. But he's absolutely terrible at it. The only strange thing in this episode is at the end, where they discover the Uncle G who did the trash talking. No, it was actually a robot, which then leads to a full battle against several Aunt Grandma robots. And here we can see the solid, thick, tight body of Frankenstein. She's cute too. Continuing with an actually normal episode, this time is called Lame Station. Since in this episode, Pizza Steve buys a last-gen console while Mr. Gus buys a game called Jax. Pizza Steve tries to play his brand new console, but in this time and age you actually spend more time watching the update screen load than you do playing the game. So naturally Uncle G gets bored and starts playing Jax with Mr. Gus.
Yes! Yeah! Man, I wish you could see these graphics, Uncle G.
Now he thinks that playing Jax is more fun. So what we see throughout the episode is how Pizza Steve, as the attention seeker he is, he tries to convince Uncle G that his consoles are better, buying more and more of these. And by the way, this episode has the most favorite trim short ever made.
Today is oatmeal day. Oatmeal is my meal.
That's cursed. But as I said, we don't count those. The consoles are not even that crazy, and in general, it is actually one of the most normal episodes. Reaching the penultimate season, we also have two options. One of these being Lil Mac, which is somewhat normal by the standards of the show. Here Mr. Gus's nephew visits him and stays in the care of Pizza Steve and Uncle Grandpa. This kid turns out to be a complete nightmare because he's breaking everything, so they do the usual thing with a disregarded infant. You throw him in a dumpster. They try to rescue him, although they don't achieve it. And at the end of the episode, the little demon arrives safely to ruin their lives again. Moving on, the last option, which I find the most normal of this season. Here Uncle Grandpa invites everyone to a bike ride, but no motorized vehicles are allowed, only pedal bikes, which really scares Pizza Steve and even makes his mass of sanity slip as he doesn't know how to ride a bike. So he tries to learn how to ride a bike in less than 7 minutes.
7 minutes and 34 seconds till bike time!
Which who would have thought that it wasn't enough? So he ends up destroying the bike with hopes of avoiding the ride. That with the height of this guy was probably one of those packs for fingers that I used to have back then. At the end it turns out that the ride together was in a bike for several people, so this lucky slice doesn't have to do anything. As you see, not really a crazy situation. And then we finally arrive to the last season of this show. And we can quickly mention the episode Doctor Visit, since this one seemed kind of average. Here Mr. Gus takes Uncle Grandpa to the doctor, since the time has come for the old man to get his prostate check. And like many of us who are scared of having one or more fingers inside, Mr. Gus has to trick them to get in there because cancer is a serious thing. At the end he destroys the entire hospital, which seems like the most irresponsible thing to do. But you could just walk away. But up to that point everything had going normally. And we get to the last candidate, we are going to see that surprisingly is actually really normal. Definitely the most normal for this season, and it will be the episode titled Cake Mistake, where Uncle Grandpa and Mr. Gus eat Pizza Steve's chocolate cake in a quite disturbing way. Realizing that someone wanted to give Pizza Steve this cake as a gift, they decided to cook another cake or replace it so Pizza Steve wouldn't notice. As you see, a fairly normal episode with a very simple problem that also has a simple resolution without anything too complicated in the middle. Alright, so as you can imagine, the majority of the episodes of this show have literally no sense at all. This show is really random. It's like the script was written by babies.
Are you saying a bunch of diaper-wearing babies write all the words I say?
Yeah.
So with that in mind, we've seen 10 episodes that are somewhat normal, but still kinda weird. So it's just a matter of which one is least weird. So first, reducing a hospital to rubble seems to be an act of internal terrorism, so we quickly discard that one. Let's start rolling down the ones with the strange fight sequences, so the return of Aunt Grandma and prank wars go away, as well as $100 Gus, since a car chase in a mall is more likely to happen than a helicopter crashing and a plane delivering burgers with onion. But still, sadly none of these scenes usually happen in my local mall, even when I live in a literal war zone. Good, now we have 5 options left. Unless you're Drake, getting to this cartoonishly level is almost impossible, so numbskull is out. And I think I speak for the majority here when I say children are nuisance, so we keep Lil Mac in the dumpster. Alright, we've reached the final stretch with these 3 solid options: Lane Station, The Bike Ride and Cake Mistake. All 3 are surprisingly normal episodes, but to find our winner we have to look for the one in which Uncle Grandpa does less strange things. And I know that's okay inside the logic of the show, but with that said, in Bike Ride, Uncle Grandpa is somewhat disturbing with his weird magic, and to be fair, this episode spends a lot of time inside Pizza Steve's mind. In Cake Mistake he's also using his strange magic, and for some reason in the late seasons, he's just annoyingly dumb. So the most normal episode of Uncle Grandpa is Lane Station, where all the consoles are actually not weird, and Uncle Grandpa doesn't use his magic here, except at the start of the episode.